what's your impression of the healthcare? How do you access it? And is there a fee that you have to pay per month to gain access to the healthcare?
So there is another absolutely amazing thing about Brazil, in my personal opinion. A healthcare system here is totally free.
Okay.
It's totally free and totally accessible for everybody.
Okay, so today we're heading down to the stunning, beautiful country of Brazil, to this really unique city that my new friend Andrzej Panasiuk, is that right, Andrzej?
Andrzej Panasiuk.
Panasiuk. Andrzej Panasiuk. He's living in Brazil in this beautiful city on the beach. He's going to reveal it in a minute. But Andrzej, thanks for being a part of the podcast. I appreciate it.
Pleasure all mine. Pleasure all mine.
Yeah, thanks, man. So let's start out by you giving a little backstory about who you are, where you're from, and how you landed in Brazil.
Okay, sure. So I'm originally from Poland, small country in the Eastern Europe. Probably some people already heard about it. But I personally I haven't been living there in Poland for Jesus already 16 years. 16
Wow.
years ago, I decided to move to London. I was living in London for like 8 years. Then, when I got a little bit tired of big city life, I decided to go traveling in Asia. I was working remotely at the time. I'm a software engineer by trade. So I was almost 2 years in Southeast Asia, traveling extensively, getting to know this beautiful region. And then I was thinking like what to do for my next step. I got a little bit tired. I got a little bit homesick. So I went back home in 2019. And then I had many Brazilian friends when I was living in London. So they were always telling me, like, you need to go to Brazil. You need to visit Brazil. Brazil is a beautiful country. You will love it there. And this Brazil was always in my on the back of my head, and like eventually I will go there to visit, right? So in 2019, that was the time that I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So I booked a flight for going back for like to stay there in Rio de Janeiro for like about a month.
Curious about which countries are the best fit for you to move abroad? We just launched the Ideal Destination Finder, a fun 20-question quiz designed to help you discover the top 3 places in the world that match your lifestyle, preferences, and priorities. If you're feeling unsure about where to go, this is truly a remarkable tool that can help you gain clarity and direction on where to move abroad. To get started, go to adventurefreaks.com, scroll down a bit, and you'll see the Ideal Destination Finder here. All you have to do is click it and start the quiz. It's as easy as that. We'll also include the link in the description below, or you can scan the QR code on the screen above. Now let's get back to the video.
And when I went there, I was totally in love. I fall in love like instantly. I don't know how to describe this feeling, but like it was like I don't know. Everything was amazing. Everything was amazing. People were amazing. The food was amazing. The climate was amazing. The beach is amazing. Everything. I was just like constantly like wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I met a beautiful girl at the time, and she showed me a lot around the state of Rio de Janeiro, because the state of Rio de Janeiro is very big. It's not only a city of Rio de Janeiro, but the actually the cities outside of Rio de Janeiro are much better, much more beautiful than the Rio itself.
Oh, wow.
Rio itself is great. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. You have a lot of bars, a lot of nightlife. The vibe there is unique. Is unique. I don't know. I cannot compare it to anywhere else. It's just Rio de Janeiro is a state of mind.
Sure.
But it's like a lot of people are saying like Brazil is not for amateurs, right? And this is true. You need to be very careful. You need to be constantly aware of your surroundings. You cannot do like typical touristy stuff. And when you like avoid those things, you are fine in Brazil in general. People are very open, very receptive,
Yep.
very open to foreigners. They love foreigners. They're very welcoming. But then I came back shortly for to Europe. But then I after a month I came back to Brazil again. I bought a motorbike and then I traveled to another states in Brazil. I went to Sao Paulo. I went to Curitiba in state of Paraná. It's a little bit south. I came back. I went to Minas Gerais, Bahia. I came back to Espírito Santo, where do I live right now? And I went back to Rio de Janeiro. I did like almost 20,000 kilometers on the motorbike.
Wow.
It was a unique experience. It was really great. Uh, yeah, I think eventually in the future I will do something similar again, which is a little bit harder right now because I have a son. But yeah, that was the beginning. Then the coronavirus thing happened. I decided to stay in Brazil. I met mother of my child at that time, and she was raised in Vitória in Espírito Santo, where I live right now. And when we arrived here, I was shocked because it was like I felt like a small Rio, like a small Rio de Janeiro,
Hmm.
which is like much less tourism, much less tourists. The same amount of nature. The beaches are gorgeous. The weather is amazing. The food is great. Everything, all the pros, and without almost without the cons. Of Rio de Janeiro. Much safer here, and much cheaper. So yeah, so we decided to stay here, and I'm here until now.
Yeah.
I'm literally stuck here.
How long
But
have you been there now?
almost 5 years. Almost
It,
5 years here
in
in Vitória.
Vitoria.
Yeah. The first year in Brazil, I was traveling. I was more focusing on traveling to see as many things as possible. And then after the coronavirus, my son got born, and we live here.
Okay. Yeah, it's well, thanks for that, Andre. That's a great a backstory on all that. And I just love the fact that when you landed in Rio, it was like a pure connection. I mean, you
Yeah,
instantly
yeah,
fell in love and there was just something magical going on there for you. And I
yeah,
hear those stories all the time and I love it when people have that experience because it's life-changing when that happens. And it is
yeah,
life-changing for you too because you love Brazil and now your life is there and you have a son now. I mean, so it's
yeah.
like it's a here's my one question. I'm curious always why people want to leave their country. What was it about? Was it anything about Poland or was it just more of a wanderlust kind of thing where you wanted to see the world? What kind of precipitated in you making that move?
A little bit of both, I guess. Like I always felt this need. I always like to read books. I always love movies. I always love adventure movies, and I always wanted to see the world, to see another countries. Like I'm always saying, like Poland is nice to visit, but it's not really great to live.
Hmm.
It's just, I don't know. The people are a little bit closed, a little bit mm, minding their own business. This
Yeah.
Eastern European vibe that, and no one is smiling on the street when you're saying like good morning. No one is replying to you. That kind of thing.
Yes.
When I landed in London, that was the first shock for me because like it was totally different. It was totally different. The
Mm-hmm.
people were more open, more welcoming. The people were smiling in the bus. That kind of thing.
Hmm.
That you When you notice those things, that you're instantly feeling at home. You're feeling welcome. When
Hmm.
in Poland, people like to complain. People like to, oh Jesus Christ, another day. That kind of attitude, which is a little bit tiring, I guess.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, Also, the weather. I'm not really a fan of long winters, long
Yeah.
cold winters. But yeah, basically that was the reason.
Okay. All right. Well, let's dive into the visa requirements. What can you share? So you moving there, you had to obtain a visa. What can you share about the visa? If there is an income requirement, share that as well.
Yeah. So at first, I just entered Brazil on the tourist visa. So there is like 3 months. I can stay as I hold a Polish passport. So 3 months I could stay without literally anything, just stay and enjoy. And then I could apply for the extension in the Polícia Federal, which is like the branch of the police that are dealing with this. Which is pretty straightforward. This is an easy thing to do. Is nothing complicated, nothing expensive. So technically, anyone. Well, I know the Americans right now. You guys need a visa, like an e visa right now, right?
Hmm.
But it's quite straightforward also right now, I guess. But to be a resident, I'm a resident right now. I'm a permanent resident because of my son. So I took the easy way to obtain a visa.
So you're married?
I am married. I am married. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I am married,
Yeah.
yes.
Well,
Uh,
that's definitely one way, and it's a
that
good
is
way.
a one. That is a one way. If you find a correct person
Yes.
to marry, yeah, that's a great way.
Hmm.
It's not that easy to find a correct person.
It's yep.
But that's the one way. The another way, I think there is a retirement visa. I think the requirements are like a person needs to earn 2,000 US dollars.
I think that's correct. The last time we checked, it was at the 2000 mark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2,000, which is not that high.
No, it's
Yeah. So it's pretty straightforward. Like I have a very good experience with Polícia Federal, with all this, with all this bureaucracy. Um, and the other type of visa that I know of is an investment visa. Like if you buy a property here in the southeast part of Brazil, I think you need to buy a property of value of 1 million reais, which is 200,000, I
okay.
guess. It's like 200,000 US dollars. If you
Okay.
buy a property for this amount in state of Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, Espírito Santo, you are automatically you can apply for the visa,
Hmm.
for the residency. In the state of Bahia, so the state north from Espírito Santo, it's a couple of hours and you're already in Bahia. The capital of Bahia is Salvador.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful state. I'm absolutely in love with this state also.
Yeah.
There are beautiful places there. The water, the food, the water is really warm. Is really nice. Uh, and right over there, I think the limit for investment is 700,000.
So it depends on what region of Brazil the
Yeah.
investment visa number can fluctuate.
Hmm.
It can go up, it can go down. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it sounds like, okay, so for the retirement visa, you're looking at about, you got to bring in 2000 a month, show probably either passive income or a pension. Uh,
Hmm.
and do you know what the digital no do they have a digital nomad visa?
Yes, 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 they
They do.
do. I don't really know a lot about this digital nomad visa because it's like a new thing. But I saw on the groups for foreigners in Brazil that is quite an interesting option. It's quite
Hmm.
an interesting option, and it's not that complicated to get it also.
Well, Andre, you mentioned before we started recording that you're involved in real estate. So
Yes.
let's talk about that. Let's start real estate first. I mean, you're in Vitoria. What do apartments and houses go for in that area for somebody who's thinking, yeah, hey, if I can spend a little bit of money and become a resident, what are they
Mhm.
starting at? What do homes start at? And then what does an apartment start at? And
Yeah.
help the viewers understand too when you buy something, can you walk to the beach? How far are you from the beach? And
Sure.
what are the ranges of a house or an apartment if you're 3 kilometers away from the beach?
Yeah. So it all depends on the location. Here in
Okay.
Vitoria, Vitoria is an island. So it's basically an island, right? The capital of Espírito Santo. Then you have cities that are connected, like that they create a greater Vitoria region. That is like Cariacica, Vila Velha, Serra, and they are like outside of the island, but they are like like you going outside of the island, you're passing the bridge, and you're in another city, but it's all
Mhm.
connected. It looks like a district.
Okay.
It basically has a like yeah, it's like a district, but it's technically another city. In You have high end neighborhoods
Yep.
that are like the apartments there or houses there are much higher
Okay.
value than in other places that usually are close to the beach. Um, and over there, I think a nice apartment you can start for like around 400,000 reais.
And how big is that? Is that like a 1 or 2 bedroom, and that's right near the beach, or do you have a view of the beach?
So yeah, you probably for that kind of money you'll find something not like super small, but like 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, something like
Okay.
that, around 60 meters, 60 square meters. In the central, for example, where I live in the downtown of Vitoria. You can find 100 meters, three bedrooms for that kind of price. For around 400,000.
Wow. So you get 100
Yeah,
square meters for 80,000 a 3 bedroom,
yeah,
and that's located where?
in the downtown of Vitoria.
Downtown. So how far are you from the beach?
So, and downtown is not very close to the beach, but you can Uber like 10 minutes. By car is like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Walking distance is not really walking distance.
Right. And
A
I would
little bit.
imagine choosing to live in Vitoria, where there's very few tourists, you're not going to run into a lot of people that speak English there.
No, 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 no.
But in Rio, you probably practiced
Oh,
English all the
there's a
time.
lot. There's a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
whole community of expats in Rio. Like a
So
like
Andre, so we talked about those are apartments that you were talking about. Are there
yeah.
houses that you can buy in that region that are affordable?
Yeah, well, yeah. In Victoria, houses are usually in the places that are close to the beach are starts like above the 1 million reais.
Okay.
So yeah, it will be around $200,000, 200,000, which is still a good price, and you can find a really decent both apartments and houses. No, you can buy, obviously, you can buy a house in Ilha do Boi, for example, which is like a very posh neighborhood. It's another small island because like the island of Victoria is actually at the beginning was like hundreds of islands, and then they fill it with the dirt. It's
Hmm.
called with
Hmm.
the dirt
Hmm.
to extend the size of the island. So you until now you have a lot of neighborhoods that are called like a island of Maria or island of something, and it's like, yeah, where's the island? Because historically it was an island,
Hmm.
but you still have like a separate islands that are connected with the bridges, like a small bridges or something like that. And you can find a house there for like $4 million, $4 million, $4 million reais, which is like and then, I don't know, $800,000.
Yeah.
But those are like high-end houses, right?
Hmm.
Outside of those regions, houses, yes, you can buy. You can buy in the downtown. There is a lot of houses that are like the old colonial style, like with the high ceiling,
Hmm.
a lot of space, 200 square meters or even more. I saw houses with like 300, 400 square meters, gigantic, a lot of space,
Yeah.
that are a little bit more affordable, like around 600,000, which would be like $120,000.
And those are still available there?
So yeah, it's not an easy find,
Yeah.
but you can find, yeah. And
Okay.
then also you have Guarapari, which is like a town that is inside this region of Greater Victoria. It's like one hour away from Victoria, and this region is very famous for tourists. Like a lot of Brazilians from Minas Gerais are coming to Guarapari, and prices there are a little bit more accessible.
But it
The
sounds to
road,
me like what you described already, Andre, even in Vitoria, where you live. I mean, to find an apartment where you can walk to the beach for 80,000 is really impressive. Now, do any of these have views of the beach for that price?
you can find, yes, you can find, yeah.
Okay.
It's not an easy find, but yeah, you can.
So for something in your area where you have a view of the beach, maybe a balcony where you can sit outside,
Yeah,
and you can go downstairs and walk to a cafe, or you can go to a little local Brazilian place and get a nice little meal where you can walk.
yeah.
What are you going to find an apartment for in an area like that? With that view, with the balcony.
In the dollars, it will be around, I guess, 120.
Okay.
You can find easily. You can
Okay.
find easily an apartment like that.
Okay. And how many square meters would you say for 120?
It will be around 60 meters
Okay.
or maybe 80 meters, square
Okay.
meters, something like that.
Okay. And so that's the 60 to 80 square meters is
Yeah.
approximately around 650 to 800 and some square feet for the
Mhm.
viewers.
Okay.
Okay. So rentals, what are rentals going for?
So I personally pay 2,000 reais for an apartment in downtown. That has more than 100 meters here. Like you have three bedrooms.
Wow.
It's this old style that you have like a high ceiling. It's very I would say very fresh. A lot of sun.
So that's about $350 per month.
Yeah,
And you have a three bedroom apartment. You said 100 square meters, so you have over 1,000 square feet
yeah,
of living
yeah.
space. Three bedrooms. How many baths? Just
Two.
you got two bathrooms, and you're in the
Mhm.
city center of Vitoria,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
where
exactly.
you could walk pretty much everywhere
Pretty much everywhere except the beach. There is
except the
no beach
beach.
resort. Yeah, because the downtown was historically it was the port of Vitoria. There is still a port very close. So there is no beaches that you can go and swim,
Hmm.
but it's very easy to get to the beach.
Yeah.
As I said, it's 10 minutes by car and you're on the beach.
Is it a
Yeah,
bike friendly city or?
that's what I wanted to say. Exactly. Yeah, and it's becoming very popular here. The electric bicycles that
Yes.
you can buy for 8,000, I guess 8,000 reais, which is what, like 1,500
Yeah.
$1,500, and you can buy an electric bike that you can go pretty much anywhere
Yeah.
within the Victoria.
That's fantastic. So let me ask you this. If you're paying 350 for
Mm.
a 1,000+ square foot, 3 bedroom, 2 bath apartment. I mean, how low do they go if somebody just wants a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom?
I guess you can find something for around 1,500.
Okay.
So because like I rented this apartment through my friend, so it's a little bit lower price than normal on the market.
Okay.
But you can find something cheaper that is smaller. You can 1,500, something like
Okay.
that.
And that's
Which
about
would be,
$250
yeah,
for the
yeah.
viewers.
If you would be willing to live in like a little bit poorer neighborhoods, you can find something cheaper,
Yeah.
but probably not everyone would be happy to live in a. We don't really have favelas here,
Yeah.
but we call it communities.
Yes.
But you can rent something there, and I even know people that foreigners that live in areas like that, and they love it.
Yeah,
So it's
well,
all depends of
I love living in those types of places because you're living with the locals,
exactly,
and
exactly.
and some of the places are really nice. What do they pay in those areas?
So you can find something even cheaper than 1,000 reais. So
Okay.
200 dollars. I guess you can find something cheaper. I guess you can find something for 700, 800. You know.
Wow. Okay, so you're looking at, so we're already at 1,000 reais, in Brazil is $175 per month.
Yeah,
And you can find it for less than 1,000. So you're looking
yeah,
at people are probably living pretty well in Vitória in a nice apartment. You're living with the locals, which is, I think, fantastic. And you could probably pay $150 a month.
yeah, yeah. Pretty much. Of course, you can find in a better neighborhoods, the whole house for rent, for example, and pay 4,000 reais.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah, or even more. There are more. There's a lot of options in Victoria.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah,
of
I bet that
options.
is.
It all depends of what you want, what do you need, and what you're looking for, basically. As you mentioned, like living in the communities, it can be really really cool experience also.
Yes.
Especially you have a lot of it's called feiras, like vegetable markets. Like pretty much every day there is like in the different parts of Victoria you have like vegetable markets, which is everything is organic, everything is sourced from the farmers directly. Like very rarely something is like mass produced here. Like usually in the interior of Vitoria, you have like a small fazendas, it's like small farms
Hmm.
that families are producing everything that they need, and all that is left, they are selling. They are selling to the I forgot how it's called this place, but it's basically they are selling to one place, and then all of those vegetables, fruits, organic, delicious. They are reselling to the people who are selling on those feiras, on
Hmm.
those vegetable markets,
Hmm.
and then you can buy fruits, vegetables, even meat, straight from the farmers, and for much cheaper than in the supermarket.
Well, that's a great way to kind of move into groceries. I mean, how much do you pay per month for groceries down there?
So we have a family of three. So I will try to just break it down to one person. In my opinion, it can be done easily to spend around 1,000 reais on grocery, and you buying everything that you need, everything that you literally want,
Hmm.
right? Here in Brazil, imported things are much more expensive.
Sure.
But the things that are produced in Brazil, they are much cheaper than in Europe, or I guess in United States. They are very very accessible, and the quality of the things, of the vegetables, fruits, are much better than in my example in Europe.
Yeah. So you're paying, is that 175 for one person? estimating, or
Yeah,
what? So for a family of three, how much do you guys pay, do you think?
1,500,
Okay.
something like that.
All right. What do you guys pay for utilities per month?
Electricity is around 150 per apartment.
Is that USD?
No, reais.
No.
So it's, yeah, it's like, yeah, $30
It's
per
about,
month.
yeah, it's like $26 right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gas, it's rare. You only in like there are buildings that you have the gas connected through, usually with the big, like big
Propane tank.
yeah, propane tank. But usually, normally, people are buying like the small 13 kilograms propane tanks, those small ones, and it's around 100 reais,
Okay.
which is like what, $20.
How long does it last? How long does the tank last?
Like around 3 months.
Okay. And then the water, how much is that, Andre?
So the water, I am not really sure, because I have water included in
Your
like
rent?
the
Your rent?
I pay, yeah, I pay like 150 on top of my rent for cleaning of the stairs, organizing the, in the building, and the water.
Okay.
150. And another thing, in my personal opinion, because I went back to Poland last year, at the beginning of last year, and I took a shower, and the quality of water in Poland and in Brazil is so different. Jesus
Different. Yeah.
Christ. Here water is so soft.
Hmm.
It's absolutely amazing. You can drink it pretty much straight from the tap.
Hmm.
We use filters, but the filters are very cheap. Like you can buy a filter for like 20 reais, which is, well, like $4, and it
Hmm.
lasts you for like 3 months or up to half a year, and it's just filtering all the impurities in the water, and you can just drink it straight from the tap, pretty much.
Yeah, that's
Another thing
great.
is that you have those filters like made from clay. This is like very Brazilian thing. I don't know if you saw it,
Hmm.
if you're familiar with it, but it's like there are like a standalone filters made of clay,
Huh.
hardened clay, with the filter inside, and the water is filtered. You have like a little bit earthy taste
Hmm.
afterwards, but it's so rich in minerals in yeah, it's delicious. I don't know. It's
Huh.
very, very. I haven't seen it anywhere else. It's very Brazilian,
Interesting.
but it's really, really cool, and
Yeah.
also very, very cheap. You can buy this filter that it holds 5 liters of water for like 100 reais, and you have like
Wow. Wow, that's great.
yeah.
Yeah, that's terrific. Um, what do you guys pay for Wi-Fi and cell phone?
So until now I'm on a pay as you go or something like that. That I just pay like 30 reais per month, and that's it.
Okay.
My wife, for example, she has a contract, and she pays more than I do, which is a little bit strange, but that's how it works here in Brazil. But I guess like 30 reais, and you have I don't know, 6 or 8 gigabytes of internet, like more than I will ever use outside of the Wi-Fi zones and stuff, which is pretty good also here. But internet Wi-Fi is, I pay 89, 90 reais per month,
Okay.
and it's optic fiber is like, the very fast. I never had a problem with it.
So let's talk about food. I love this topic. Going to a local mom and pa restaurant to get your typical restaurant in Vitória to go get a nice meal, not a fancy place. What are you going to pay for a meal? And that'll give us an idea what you need to budget per month.
So in Brazil, very popular option is marmitex. It's called marmitex, and it's basically in the time of lunch, almoço, like between they open those restaurants like around 11 until 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m., something like that. Usually they have or option of like you buy a plate like ready made for you, or you can buy per kilo. So you have a buffet. You have
Mm.
like a lot of variety of meat, of carbohydrates, vegetables, fruits, like a lot of things, and you just put whatever you want, whatever you fancy, and then just pay like just per kilo. The price varies between like 60 reais per kilo until 80, 90, something like that.
Okay.
In the cheapest restaurant, you for a meal you pay around 20 reais, something like that. You can find the meals that you can buy for like 18, 15
Wow.
reais, which is what, $3,
It's
even
not
less.
not even. Yeah.
Not even normal price that when I'm going outside and I have like a favorite places, favorite spots, I paid around 25 to 30 reais.
Okay.
There's one typical dish here in Vitória. It's called moqueca, and it's basically like a seafood stew. Sometimes they do it with even with banana. There is like a type of banana that need to be cooked
Yeah.
in Brazil. It's called the banana da terra, and it's really good. It's really 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 nice. It's really
Mm.
nice, and it's like a stew of shrimps, parts of fish. It's very yeah. It's great. It's great. It's
Yeah.
very good.
All right, great. All right, well, thanks for that. Let's move on to things to do. What do people do for fun there?
There is a good nightlife in Victoria. It's very. There are like three uh, centers of nightlife in Victoria. One of them is in downtown where I live. It's more of like a Rio de Janeiro style street bars. Everyone's dancing samba, that kind of vibe. The another one is Bermuda Triangle. It's called Bermuda Triangle, and it's not far. It's like 15 minutes by car, and it's full of bars, clubs, restaurants. You can stay there for like whole night, and you won't get bored. A lot of things to do. And there is another one. It's called a mud street, Rua da Lama,
Hmm.
and it's like literally in front of the university, UFES, the main university in Victoria, and it's more for like a younger crowd. A lot of bars on the street, also a music stuff. If someone wants to smoke weed or something like that, that's the place to go. You
Hmm.
know, um, and yeah, that's the main places like of a nightlife
Hmm.
in Victoria. Now you have plenty of bars and restaurants. The live music is Brazilians love live music, all kind of live music. You have a lot of like cultural events here in the downtown. You have a lot of art galleries, concerts, like concerts or live events in the parks or in the plaza.
What do they charge for those activities? Do they charge anything for those concerts or?
A lot of events are totally free
Okay.
to attend. If you want some kind of activity like swimming in the sea or kayaking or go on the boat on the Victoria River. You can climb. There is a lot of parks in Victoria. You can go and be like in the middle of nature in no time. In 15 minutes, you're just like inside of the state park with the beautiful views. Because like in the middle of Victoria, you have like a small mountain range. It's like
Hmm.
around 300 meters, not very tall, but they give you like a really nice view of the whole Vitória, Greater Vitória,
Mhm.
Vila Velha, the other cities also.
All right. Well, thanks for that. So, how do you get around? Let's talk about transportation. Do they have ride share there? Do they have the public bus system? And what does it cost to jump on a bus and move around the city?
Yeah. So in my opinion, the most convenient way to commute in Vitória is by Uber. I wouldn't say it's necessary because it depends, of course, it depends where you live,
Hmm.
but it makes life so much easier.
Sure.
But if you want to, if you, for example, if you rent something in a nice neighborhood or you buy something in a nice neighborhood and you have all the supermarkets or the shops that you need and stuff, you're more than okay you're not having a car and going anywhere you need by Uber, for
Okay.
example.
Okay.
And it's cheap, and it's like 10 reais, 15 reais, which is like pocket money
Yeah.
basically when you exchange it for dollars.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. The last thing I have, everybody wants to know about the healthcare in Brazil. What's your impression of the healthcare? How do you access it? And is there a fee that you have to pay per month to gain access to the healthcare?
So there is another absolutely amazing thing about Brazil, in my personal opinion. A healthcare system here is totally free.
Okay.
It's totally free and totally accessible for everybody, even for the tourists that are visiting on a tourist visa. You don't need to be resident. You don't need to be a citizen of Brazil. You can use a totally free healthcare system. Now, of course, it is limited. It's not like they will give you, I don't know, hair transplant for free, in Brazil, whatever, or silicon boobs, whatever. But all the basic healthcare problems, I have only a good experience with the SUS. It's called SUS, the National Healthcare System. Now, there are health insurances that you can buy because some of the hospitals in Brazil they are public, some of them they are private, and some of them they are mixed. They're like
Okay.
hybrid. Depends on the service. Depends on the what you need to do, what kind of like specialist do
Hmm.
you
Yep.
need. On the like national on the SUS on the free healthcare, you can wait much longer. You will get it done, but like for example, I had to do an endoscopy, and I was waiting. I absolutely forgot about it, and then I got a notification after 2 years that I can go and do this endoscopy finally, and then I totally forgot about it. So it works like that for all the
Mhm.
basics. I think the free healthcare here in Brazil is more than enough. Of course, it depends on the place, on the neighborhood, it depends on the clinic, like local clinic. Of course, it all depends. But in my opinion, wherever I went, whenever I had to do like health wise, I use like a free healthcare services. Even dentists, you like your teeth. You have a problem with the teeth. You go to the posto de saúde. It's called posto de saúde, like health point, health clinic. A local health clinic, and you just mark a visit, probably the next week or something like that, and you go and they do everything that you need with your teeth.
So for the people who want the faster service, they go for a private health insurance. Do you have any idea what those plans go for?
It's around, I think the cheapest are like starting around 400 reais per month.
Hmm.
You have a different plans. It's really difficult to put everything in the one bucket. You can pay like 1,000 reais, and then you have everything included. It all depends, but yeah, it's basically around, I think, 600 reais. You can buy something really really good, accessible, for like that covers most of the most important specialities, thing that you need to do.
I got one more question for you. So for the people watching, all the viewers watching, to move to Victoria, to get a rental, utilities, eating out, going to these buffets, um, all in, how much can somebody live in Victoria per month?
I guess like around 5,000 reais, which is 1,000 dollars. You can live really really nicely here.
So if you have $1,000 per month, you can live well
Yeah,
in you can live
yeah,
very well in Victoria.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then that will give you a buffer, like to like some emergency and stuff.
Yeah.
Not counting your every penny, but like just to give you a good value for things.
Yeah. Well, Andrzej Panasiuk, I want to thank you very much, man, for taking the time out of your day to share all of these tips and this fantastic
Or,
information. I truly appreciate it.
no, pleasure all mine. Pleasure
Yeah.
all mine.
All right, man. Well, you have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, mate. Have a good one.